Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Q&A Sundays. My name's Ashley Green, the Mind Reader, and as always, like every other Sunday in the past, I'm answering the various different questions which you guys, the viewers, have sent in. Now today's a very special episode because episode 10 today is a magician special. Over the past few weeks, I've had a couple of just questions come in from magicians which I didn't think was suitable to answer at the time, but then as time went on and the weekends passed, these questions built up. And now I've got 4 very good questions which I really think could help magicians, so I've put them together in this magician special for episode 10. And it also is the last Q&A Sundays I'm doing, so this marks the end to every single other Q&A Sunday in the past. It's done. You know about me now. I guess that's it. You know every single thing from these various weird questions which have come in. Even Aiden asking, what type of vegetable would I be? Weird questions I've had. But yeah, today, if you're a magician, you're going to really benefit from this. And hopefully you can use it to really elevate your magic. Or mentalism if you're a mentalist. But I'm going to go straight into it. The first question is, and I've also left the names off these ones as well. In the past few episodes, I've been mentioning who's sent them in, but with these ones, I thought because they're not about me this time, they're really about other people. And I just thought maybe people might not want their names shared if they're going into that. So they are anonymous questions today. The first one is, I'm just getting into performing and I want to do it as a job. What do I do? I know it seems generic and I know that everyone's going to say it, but honestly practice. You need to be good at what you do. No one's going to book you if you're rubbish. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but it's true. It goes for anything. Whatever you're trying to sell, if you're trying to sell a product, it needs to be good. No one's going to buy something which is naff. And when you're good, then you can start marketing yourself and doing events. So practice, practice, practice on all of your friends. And then at the point where you feel, yeah, I'm good. You know, your friends are going wow, and your family's oh my God, that's brilliant. Test it on some people you don't know. And then when they go, oh my God, that's really good. Then you're yeah, let's see if I can get into a couple of events. And all you've got to do is the same thing. I would say probably the easiest thing, and what I've found I get the most success from, is just making it stupidly obvious to people that performing at events is what I do. Now, let's say, for example, you want to get into the wedding market. Say you're down the pub just having a drink, and I mean, by now, if you followed that advice, you're used to performing to random strangers, and you've got that level of confidence there, which was also another thing. There's a lot of performers which struggle with confidence, and I think that's something that you really need to work on. And I think when you're a lot more confident, then your audience is also put at ease, and then you can all have fun together, and they're not kind of sat there cringing out because you're also cringing out, the sake of performing. So yeah, be confident. If you're going up to someone, show them a trick, whatever, blow their minds. It's absolutely amazing. But remember to say, oh yeah, I'm a magician and I typically do this at weddings. Or say I'm available to do weddings. If that's the market you're going through, if you're trying to get into the corporate market, say you do it at corporate events, parties, whatever the specific niche is that you're going into, just remember to say. And you might have some business cards printed and you might feel inclined to leave them with a card. Don't do that. If they're interested, take their details. I mean, yeah, leave them with a card, but don't kind of force it on them. Always, in my opinion, I think, make it a little bit easier for them to take the card rather than just give it to them and then they will leave it on the table. I don't know, say you do a mind reading piece. They're thinking of a word. Take out your business card and maybe write the reveal of the word on the back of it and then hand it to them. That way, it makes sense for you to give the card without having to be oh, here's my business card, and then just kind of whacking it on. Really weird. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. I forgot where I was going now. I do that. I tend to go off on weird tangents and then forget the actual question. Yeah, just make it obvious to them. Tell them that's what you do. And oh yeah, I was saying about details. If someone is actually interested, don't just leave them with your card after doing, for example, that word reveal, and then you've given the card over in a nicer way. I feel actually take their details and remember to follow up with them, because chances are they could lose that card or they could forget. But if you follow up, then you're the one to actually establish that conversation first and try and go in to get that gig booked. It might be worth, if you want to get into it, just offering to do a couple of free events for people you know, and then getting some photos as social proof so you can put on your social media and websites. That's also another thing. You've got to set up your social medias and get a website if you can as well. Get an email. I would probably avoid using like a @btinternet.com or @skymail.com. Try and get a nicer looking one, like, you know, when you've actually bought a domain. For example, mine is ashley@greenmindreader.co.uk. It's my own email, and it's not like a generic Sky email or something like that. I think it looks a lot nicer as well. So yeah, just maybe considering doing some free events, get some photos taken as social proof to put on all of those places, and get those people to leave reviews. So now you've got reviews to kind of back all of that up. That's what I would say. If you want to ask me anything, if you want to quiz my brains, or to be honest, even if any of you are there and you might not have been the one to ask this question, but you are at the same stage as this person and you want to get into performing magic as a job, just literally message me. All you got to do is search Ashley Green Mind Reader on Facebook or Instagram. Drop me a message on there, I'll get back to you, and then sure, we can hop on like a Zoom call for like 15 minutes or whatever if I'm free, and I'm more than happy to run you guys through what it is that I do to actually get work. So yeah, all you got to do, drop me a message if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and you want me to elaborate on that further. So this one's a cool question, and it is, how can I be a better mentalist? All I'm going to say to you is quite simply listen to the Successful Mentalist podcast. All you got to do is search for the Successful Mentalist on your favourite podcast provider. Easy as that. No, in all seriousness, the podcast that I run with Aidan is absolute gold. If you are interested in mentalism and you really want to improve it and you want to be a better mentalist and take your mentalism to the next level, then the tips, tricks, methods and techniques that we're sharing on there are really going to help you. To be honest, if you're a magician as well, some of the stuff which we share about character and business and mindset on there are really going to benefit you as well, so check it out. I have actually, alongside Aidan, when we set up the Successful Mentalist, we put together a free PDF of the 10 things which we thought would best improve people's mentalism. And we wrote that down, and luckily for you, this is actually free to get. There is a link in the description. I put it in the description of every single one of my videos, and it will take you through to the Successful Mentalist website. All you got to do is click on that, go through the process, and you'll get sent the free PDF. It's free, you don't need to pay for it. It's literally go on the site, grab it, have a look at the gold, improve your mentalism. Easy as that. And this links into one of the questions which I will elaborate on in a minute. Don't just look at the effects you perform. Don't just look at things in terms of like mind reading trick, mind reading trick, mind reading trick. Look at the other stuff, why you want to do it, and heck, I'll link it into the next question. What are the best tricks to Amaze? Like, I think looking at tricks is the wrong thing. I think if you really want to be a good performer, you need to look at the other stuff. And if you're asking that question because of whether you want to have a better repertoire, if you're struggling to actually amaze an audience, if you're struggling to connect with them, you're struggling to get them engaged, or even if you're a good performer but you're looking for new material, maybe look at ways of doing it differently. And by that I mean looking at your character, your performance self. Maybe look at other hobbies, see how you can bring them in to make your performance more interesting. Heck, if you play violin, see if there's a way you can bring that into when you do magic or mentalism, and make it more interesting. I think that's going to make you very unique because you're bringing other aspects of your life in, and I think it's going to take your audience into your world a little bit more. They're going to understand you, and like I say, it just makes you more interesting. If you're more interesting, then the person watching or the audience watching, they're going to be more interested in you because you're interesting. And people like to know interesting people. People like to know special people. People like to talk about special people. There's a little tip from Uri Geller, which is actually in our 10 tips to improve your mentalism PDF. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And the guy who's asked about tricks, the tricks don't really matter to a certain extent. Like, it's all about the performance. You can have the best tricks in the world, you can do the best tricks in the world, but if you're bland and boring, then no one cares. If you're performing, You need to be entertaining. Whatever your goal is, if it's to make people have fun, if it's to provoke an emotion, spread a message, work at the best way of doing that and fit the trick and the effect around that. That is the best piece of advice I can give from my own experience with performing for the past however many years now. So hopefully to you guys who have sent that in, that really helps. But honestly, I can't stress enough. I don't just say it because I run the Successful Mentalist alongside Aidan. Like, genuinely, the tips we put in that book has been really well received by people. Even professionals have looked at it and it's kind of like re-jogged their memory, and they've gone like, oh yeah, I could probably think about this again. Like, little simple things which are actionable and you can do straight away. So go check that out. It's in the description. 10 tips to improve your mentalism. Click the link and grab that today. And finally, the last question. It says, I'm a part-time magician, but I've got no gigs at the moment. To be honest, mate, as of recording this, the current global situation, especially in the UK, only social distance parties are allowed at the moment, and only a few people are doing those. And if there's any non-magicians, you know, watching this video, kind of any muggles here still, and you guys are just kind of hanging around because, I don't know, you like these videos, if you're planning a party and you want socially distanced entertainment, then the one guy I can honestly highly recommend is a chap who I work with, who I've mentioned before. It's Aidan. He is absolutely killing it with socially distanced parties at the moment. I keep watching his social media just blow up with the events he's doing. It's incredible. So if you're a regular, normal, non-magical human and you're holding a party or whatever you're doing, if you want a different form of entertainment but socially distanced, all you got to do is search aidanthewizard.co.uk. Check him out. He's absolutely mental at this stuff. But yeah, anyway, back to the question. Sidetracked. Part-time magician, no gigs at the moment. How do I do online shows? Really simple. And honestly, I would say it's so much more easier than actually doing live shows. I mean, especially if you're doing sleight of hand, you only have to perform to one stationary camera, rather than having loads of various people walking around you and have to be conscious about all the secret sleight of hand you're doing. So in that aspect, it's a lot easier. You're used to your surroundings. You don't have to worry about travelling to a place you've never been to before. All of that stress is off. Like, literally, people are just watching through the screen. And maybe I say it's easier, but okay, maybe there's pros and cons to it. I guess the con being that although it's through a screen, it's easy to kind of be disconnected. So I think it's important to think about how you can actually connect and engage with people, maybe the other side of the planet or somewhere else in the UK or wherever it is you and your audience are. If you are performing through a webcam, think of ways where it can feel like you're both almost in the same room together. That is what will make your online show better than all the others out there, because there's a lot of them at the moment and they're bland, and some have fizzled out because no one's booking the magician or the mentalist because it is bland. And it goes back to what I said a moment ago, like, understand who you are and just be engaging as a performer. Actually be an interesting person. But if you don't know what type of material to do online, I'm not going to discuss this on this YouTube channel. But like I've said to the other guys who've sent in questions, just search me on Facebook, Instagram, just email me, ashley@greenmindreader.co.uk. I'm literally everywhere. If you search Ashley Green Mindreader, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to jump on a Zoom call, like I've said with the other people, to discuss material and help you out. If that is the route you want to go down at the moment and set up an online show. And like I said, if any of you guys are at the moment, you want to set up an online show, just drop me a message. Find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Even if there's anything else you want to discuss, drop me a message. I'll help you out. Hopefully I made that clear. And yeah, if I can help you guys out, then it's all worthwhile. It's what I enjoy. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing the Successful Mentalist alongside Aidan, really. It's rewarding. Well, what else can I say? So yeah, once you've got your show set up, once you know kind of what you want to do, once you know how to connect with people through the screen, and you've worked out how to get good camera quality, good audio quality, it's not going to be naff and really kind of glitchy. Once you've got all of that, then you've got to market your show. All you got to do from there, to be honest, what at the beginning of lockdown, I smashed it out of the park with online shows. I've done like 40 plus online shows to people, and I heavily relied on Facebook and Instagram for that. I didn't even go through my mailing list to plug the shows. Like, I was getting quite a few inquiries coming in, which is good. So I just plastered it everywhere. And when someone booked me for a show, I would say to them, do you mind if you just put it on your Instagram, Facebook story, just say, hey, look, I've booked Ashley Green the Mind Reader for an online show. And then all of their friends are like, oh, this person's doing an online show. It opens them up to have a look at me and then explore. And then in my Instagram bio on my Facebook, I'd make it really clear. Like, I pin a post to the top or put in the Instagram bio the link to my show, and I just make it obvious so when people went on my profile, it would click through and go from there. After you've done the show with them, grab a screenshot, send it to them, so they've got a little photo to share, and just say, if they do that, then people can see your face, they can tag you, whatever. And secondly, again, ask them and just say, if you enjoyed the show, share it on your Facebook, Instagram story, make a little post, tag me in it. Honestly, it would mean the absolute world. More often than not, people are happy to do that. Like, I only had like very few people who didn't do that. Most people were more than happy to share stuff, which was fantastic. And heck, you can even do it yourself. Grab a screenshot, tag them in it, and then they might share it on their story, and then that will get seen by all their friends. You can then also ask, once you do a show, ask, is there anyone that they know which they could benefit from the show, and get them to email them, copy you in, or send the details, or whatever. Like, you just got to think a little bit creatively about it, and it just goes to how you can find and build up your clients from nothing. Hopefully that makes sense. I appreciate I've gone, wow, 17 minutes into discussing 4 questions that I've currently been recording for, which is mad. So hopefully I can narrow that down into a watchable video for YouTube so it doesn't drag on for too long. So I'm going to stop there with the questions. If any of you guys want me to elaborate on whatever I've said, all you have to do, like I've said, I keep saying it, but I just want to be clear, just message me. Don't worry about being intrusive and being like, oh, he might not get back to me. Literally message me. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone, not just today, but for the past 10 episodes that have sent in questions. Samuel Wigmore, who's literally sent in questions, loads are over the past 10 weeks. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for everyone watching these videos. But stay tuned, because I do have some very interesting videos on the way, which will be coming out soon. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed the tips and all of that sort of stuff, and leave a comment. And like I say, just message me if you want to hear my advice in regards to anything else, and pick up the free PDF. It's in the description, 10 tips to improve your mentalism. Click the link, grab that today. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon, and it won't be with Q&A Sundays, but it will be with another fantastic video. So keep your eyes peeled and make sure to subscribe. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.